Okay, so what's an opportunity score? It sounds fancy. It's not really that fancy, actually. Basically, what you're going to do is take your list of outcomes and go to your friends who you trust, or who, if you don't trust them, make them sign a non-disclosure document, and then show them your outcomes and say, hey, you know the market, you know what I'm trying to do here with this device. Why don't you, for each of these outcomes, rank on a scale of 1 to 10 how important each one is to you? Okay, and once you've done that, since you're my really good friend and I'm buying you chocolate to do this, why don't you tell me how satisfied you are with the current product offerings on the market for each of these outcomes? How well do current products on the market address these outcomes? Okay. So once you've done this with, whatever statistically significant sample size you want to use of your friends, if it be it 10, be it 20, however many friends you have, take all these scores that they give you and average them. So get the average importance and get the average satisfaction for each outcome. And then use this little formula here in order to determine opportunity scores. So what this basically does is for each outcome that you generate during your brainstorming process, during your ideation phase, you're coming up with these metrics: average importance and average satisfaction. So you're able to take average importance plus average importance minus average satisfaction, and basically what that tells you is which of these outcomes that I've generated is the most underserved, meaning it's the least satisfied by the current market, and which are the most important, overall. So if we're talking about our saw, coming back to a product that's not related to healthcare at all, we have 3 outcomes here for one of our processes, or actually these come from different processes. These happen to be the 3 most important ones. And say we have minimize the likelihood of going off track when approaching the end of the cut. It looks like people thought that that was pretty important. Most people surveyed ranked that near a 10, meaning that it almost has to be done this way. But if you'll notice, most people also saw that there weren't solutions out there that really addressed this outcome. None of the products are doing this. So obviously, this gets the highest score because it's the one that nobody is currently thinking about. No company has addressed these problems, and it's very important to address these problems. So when you're designing your medical device, you're going to want to address the top opportunities in your prototype. So say you have to choose, like for example, minimize the amount of splintering that occurs when making a cut. If you don't do this whole opportunity score thing, both of these outcomes seem equally important to you. And if you don't ask people that are going to actually be using your device, they might as well be equal to you because you have no way of differentiating what's important and what isn't. But if you use this really simple algorithm, you can figure out, hey, it's really important that my device do this, and maybe it's less important, maybe it's still important if it does this, but it's not critical. So it's a really good way of coming up with what's important when you're brainstorming.